Okay, let's do one more example problem of an application where we're solving two equations with two unknowns. So in this case, we have the quantity demanded of a Blu-ray player being 8,000 units with a price of $260, but at a price of $200, the demand increases to 10,000 units. I'm going to stop right there. Our first question is just to find the demand equation, and all these first two sentences are demand numbers. So the quantity demanded in this case, I forgot to choose my pen. So the quantity demanded is 8,000 at a price of $260 and 10,000 at a price of $200. So what we have there is we have two ordered pairs. The ordered pairs go into the format of XP, X being the number demanded and P being the price. So we have the two ordered pairs here, 8,000, 260, and 10,000, 200. And I need to get to the equation that goes through these points. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use our slope formula. In this case, again, we have P's, X's, and P's for price. So slope is P2 minus P1 over X2 minus X1. So 200 minus 260 over, going in the same order, 10,000 minus 8,000, negative 60 over 2,000. And then when I reduce that as far as I can, I get negative 3 over 100. And as a decimal, that's negative 0.03. I don't care how you write that here, but when you're doing your homework online, just be sure to check how they want you to enter your answers. They will tell you fraction or decimal and to how many decimal places, or round it to the whole number. They'll give you all that information there. Okay, now we want to get to the full equation. So I'm going to hop over to that point slope form where we do P minus P1 equals MX minus X1. We know M is negative 0.03. And we need to fill in an X1, P1 point. I'm just going to use, I like this point right here. So I'm going to use the P1 value here being 200 and the X value being 10,000. Okay, and then we're going to just move things around here. Distributing on this side, we'll get plus 300. And then add. Oops, I forgot my X. Don't want to do that. Okay, so there is our demand equation. Okay, the next question says to find the supply equation. So now we're going to flip focus and look at supply. So it says the manufacturer will not market any players at all for a price of $100 or lower. However, for each $50 increase in the unit price above 100, the manufacturer will market an additional 1,000 units. Okay, and we know that these are both linear. So I guess I took that for granted to do part A. I took for granted that it was linear. But we do know that it is. So what we can do now is how can we make two ordered pairs out of this second information? So they won't market any players at all if the price is under $100. But for every $50 above that, they will make an extra 1,000 units. So what we know out of that, it's kind of hidden here, but what they've told us, without telling us, they've told us, is that there will not be any, there will be zero of these players at a price of $100. So that's an ordered pair. If the price is $100, they aren't going to manufacture any. And then they've given us enough information to come up with, honestly, as many other points as we'd like to, for every $50 increase above 100. So what if we go to $150? They will market an additional 1,000 units. Well, an additional 1,000 units from zero is 1,000. And we could go on from there if we wanted to. We could go on and make the next ordered pair that at $200, so another $50 increase, they would make 2,000 units, and so on and so forth. But we only need 2 ordered pairs in order to find our slope, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to use the first 2. I like those. So I'm going to do 150 minus 100 over 1,000 minus 0. 50 over 1,000 is what I get there, which reduces entirely to 1 over 20, or if you want to do decimal form, 0.05. And now here's an instance where I don't want to work too hard if I don't have to. Notice that one of the points is the y-intercept. It gives me the b value. So I'm just going to steal that. I'm not going to go through the whole process of finding it. I'm just going to say my supply is p equals, I know my slope, 0.05x plus 100. Okay, so now here's my supply equation. Then we want to find the equilibrium quantity and price. I'm going to scroll up a little bit here. In order to find the equilibrium quantity and price, we want to find where these two cross each other, find their intersection point. These are set up great for a substitution where we just set them equal to each other since they're both currently solved for p. So I'm going to set this up as negative 0.03x plus 500 equals 0.05x plus 100, and just solve that. Okay, and then I'm going to add. And then finally, what we want to do is divide to see what x is. And if we divide that out, it comes out as 5,000. Okay, so 5,000 equals x. We want to find both the equilibrium quantity and price. So what's important to remember here is that this is the equilibrium quantity. Is 5,000 Blu-ray players. That's the equilibrium quantity. So if they make and sell 5,000 of them, the market will be at equilibrium, but what is the price that they should sell them at here? So let's go ahead and we should be able to sub it into either equation since that's what balances out. I'm going to choose that second equation. It seems a little bit easier to deal with, no negatives. If I sub in a 5,000 here, looks like the price is $3.50.